My name is Dr. Bob Lauder, and I'm the Director of Sports Science here at Lancaster University. I hope you've already had an opportunity to hear about Lancaster University and what a great place it is to study. And so now we want to introduce you to our Sports and Exercise Science degree. And my colleague, the Director of Admissions, Dr. Chris Gaffney, will lead on that in just a moment. But first, let me give you an opportunity to hear a little bit about background to our degree. The Sports and Exercise Science degree here at Lancaster University is a relatively new degree. We launched in October 2018. And although we're a new degree, the team specifically recruited to deliver our degree are hugely experienced. They were drawn from universities across the United Kingdom. In addition, the Sports and Exercise Science degree at Lancaster University is one of the very few degrees to be delivered from a medical school. And this gives our students enormous opportunities to interact with medics and learn from them. For example, in our first year anatomy modules, or in our sports medicine or exercise medicine modules. We're living in very extraordinary times, quite distinct from that which we had expected. And while we've been in lockdown, one of the few valid reasons for leaving home has been to take exercise. And that importance of exercise in promoting health and well-being isn't going to go away. And so there will always be roles for sports and exercise scientists who understand the theoretical underpinning of their subject and are able to apply it as our students are learning from within a medical school. They will have roles in promoting health, promoting well-being, as well as promoting athletic performance. Let me stop there and hand over to our Director of Admissions, Dr. Chris Gaffney, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our degree.
Hi, so welcome to this presentation. I'm Dr. Chris Gaffney. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Lancaster, as Bob has kindly introduced me. And today I'm going to take you through some of the content of what we deliver here at Lancaster Medical School. So first of all, why do I think you should study sport and exercise science at Lancaster Medical School? Well, we're a top 10 university. We develop an evidence-based analytical approach to sports science. We want to develop the sports science researchers of the future. And of course, there is this unique element that we're one of the few sports science courses in the country to be delivered from this medical school setting. And this allows us some extra capabilities, such as tapping into that expertise that we have with medical colleagues, such as we have in the picture here of Junaid, one of our surgeons within the medical school, leading a dissection in our first year anatomy module. So in terms of the three key reasons I think why you should choose to study sports science here at Lancaster, you would be part of Lancaster Medical School, so this is a rare opportunity to join one of the first sport and exercise science degree programs within the UK that is delivered from a medical school setting. The home of sports science is actually going to be in the new £41 million Health Innovation Campus, so there is this long-term investment in the faculty, so it's a very exciting time to be part of Lancaster Medical School and sport and exercise science here at Lancaster. And because we're a new programme, we don't have our own returns as a course in terms of subject rankings, but our academics deliver on other programmes across the university, such as biological sciences, subjects allied to medicine and medicine itself, and of course you can see that we have these high rankings within those individual courses as well. So we're confident that when we do get returned, we will equally have a high ranking for sports science. So in terms of your specialised learning environments, you will do much of your learning in the Human Performance Laboratory. So this is a state-of-the-art facility that we've had built specially for this sport and exercise science course. This is where you do all your practicals for physiology, nutrition and biomechanics. We have high specification equipment and it is used for both teaching, research and consultancy. Here is an image we have before social distancing rules in terms of delivering practicals within this setting. Fantastic facility for both teaching and for research. You will also use some of the facilities that we have elsewhere across the university. So you'll be using our, again, state-of-the-art biology and life science laboratories. And these will primarily be in your year one modules such as molecules of life and cell structure and function. But if you choose to take some of the optional third year modules, when you get some option choices, again, you might use some of these laboratory facilities then. Finally, you'll use our brand new strength and conditioning room that was opened last year as well. This is very important in particular for getting you the skills for your industry recognised level 2 gym instructor, level 3 personal trainer qualification that we've embedded within the first year of the program. So we get you some experience within this fitness environment and you can get this qualification. So you're qualified by the end of your first year. Now, within sport and exercise science, we have these three core disciplines. In red, we have anatomy and biomechanics. In blue, we have physiology and nutrition. And in green, we have the psychology. And we have the traditional sports performance elements, so how can these prepare an elite athlete to win that gold medal? But we also have a health performance angle. So how can we hone some of these skills that we've learned in sports science and apply this to public health settings? So how can we help people through GP referral schemes? How can we accelerate people's recovery from surgery? Things like that. We have a big focus here at Lancaster on our employability, so we encourage our students to engage with communities, the NHS, clubs and industry throughout the whole degree programme. So we don't send our students out on one distinct placement in the third year, we embed this throughout the 3 years of the programme, so students are doing little and often, and they're getting that experience right from when they start their degree programme. We encourage you to engage with the professional bodies, such as the British Association of Sport and Exercise Sciences, but other key organisations as well. And through our professional practice module that I've alluded to, we want to build as much employability skills as we can. So in our second year, our students have an opportunity to become a sport and exercise scientist for one of our university teams. And then everything in this module culminates with the hosting of a sport and exercise science-based event within the third year of the program, which is fantastic both for sport and exercise science skills, but also builds a repertoire of employability skills that are transferable to many different industries. So to give you a flavour of our degree programme overall, it's 3 years, there will be 3 terms and there will be the 3 core disciplines. To give you an overview of everything that's covered in the first year, so within the first 5 weeks you have becoming a sport and exercise scientist, fundamental anatomy and molecules of life. Within weeks 6 to 10 you would then have experimental design and data analysis, principles of biomechanics and cell structure and function. Weeks 11 to 15, so after you come back after that Christmas break, you'll have essentials of sport and exercise physiology, concepts in sport and exercise psychology, and then you'll have a break which allows you to spend extra time on course outcome revision or alternatively engage in some of these professional practice opportunities. Week 16 to 20, you'll have introduction to nutrition, public health challenges and hormones and metabolism. And then finally, after the Easter break, you'll have digital technologies in sport and exercise science and exercise prescription. And this exercise prescription module is critical in learning and gaining that level 2 gym instructor and level 3 personal trainer qualification that we have embedded within that first year of the program to make you employable as soon as possible. Now, within the first year, as you've seen, the modules are typically 5 weeks long and they're 8 credits. So we have 4 weeks of teaching and then 1 week for assessment or revision. In years 2 and 3, that shifts slightly differently. So we have 10 weeks typically in their 15 credit modules. So it would be 9 weeks of taught material and then a week at the end for any assessment and revision. Now, to give an example of the sort of format these might be in, so looking at the first year modules, an example of molecules of life, you would have 3 lectures per week of 1 hour. You would have 1 workshop per week of 2 hours, and then you would have weekly directed tasks. Now, of course, this depends very much on the module. So if we look at something like Essentials of Sport and Exercise Physiology, so a module that's a little bit more practical, you would only have 2 lectures per week of 1 hour. You would have lab sessions of 2 per week of 2 hours, and then again weekly directed tasks. And I think it's important to note that the way that we teach, particularly at Lancaster Medical School, we teach in these small groups. We do hands-on lab practical, so we're really about trying to give you those skills so you can be the best sport and exercise science practitioners there are out there when you qualify. So within the second year, as I've just mentioned, we have fewer modules that have got higher credits and you have the first option modules to choose from. So the core modules, we have Biomechanics 2, Physiology and Metabolism led by myself, we have Sport and Exercise Psychology, Research Methods and Statistics, really important in that second year to build the skills ready for your major project in your third year, and you have Current Debates in Sport and Exercise Science. We have an option module, so you can choose to go down a sports medicine pathway, so this is around elite performance, or you can choose to go down an exercise medicine pathway that, as I've mentioned, is to do with building these skills for making those sports and skills applicable in the general public. And then, of course, we have the year-long module in professional practice. Finally, in year 3, you select 2 out of the 3 at biomechanics, physiology, and psychology. You take some option modules, and these areas can include the sports medicine pathway, so maximising elite performance. You've also got the exercise medicine pathway, which is in optimising health outcomes. But because we're embedded within the medical school, you also have the opportunity to take some of our biomedical and life science modules, such as biology of aging, neurobiology, or medical genetics. We've also teamed up with some of our colleagues in the management school, so we've got a fantastic world-leading management school here at Lancaster, and we're aware that some of our sports science students want to set up their own businesses, such as personal training, nutrition companies, and so on. So we also allow our students to do a module in entrepreneurship in their third year, again, entirely the student's choice. Finally, the year-long modules are the final year project, where you're doing a piece of individual research, and then professional practice 3. Now, our approach to assessment is really important. Students come to us with a range of different qualifications, and it's important that we don't lean too heavily towards those that have joined Lancaster with either an A-level background or a BTEC background and so on. So this is a typical method of assessment. So in my nutrition module in first year, we'll have 10% that is given by online knowledge tests that are every week. You can have multiple attempts to these. The idea is everyone gets 100% on them, and this is assessment for learning, not necessarily assessment for the sake of assessment. We do a dietary analysis, so this is worth 60% of the overall module grade, and this is using data captured from a real-life case study that you can do on an athlete or that you could do on family members, friends, and so on. So you're actually doing some real-life analysis, and you submit a report in the 5th week. And then finally, 30% is hinging on an end-of-year exam that's, in this case, a multiple-choice exam. Now, speaking more broadly about Lancaster, you will have an academic tutor such as myself or one of my other colleagues in sports science, and we're here to manage any sort of academic issues or pastoral issues. But being part of a collegiate university, so we have the college system, so you get a college tutor that is able to manage any pastoral issues that you might have. And we feel this is a really good thing because sometimes students don't want to approach the academic tutor for any pastoral issues. So if you would like to keep those separate, Lancaster allows you to do that, but of course, as an academic, we're here to support you however we can. One of the frequent questions we get is what kind of jobs you could go into, and one of the big strengths with sport and exercise science is the whole breadth of careers that you can go into. So on the left-hand side, we have course-specific careers such as being an applied sports scientist. You can be a researcher, performance analyst, nutritionist, and so on. So these are things that are directly related to the degree program. We have careers that are related to this, such as being a sports therapist or physiotherapist, a physician associate, so working within the medical setting, could go into academic positions or working in sports development. So sometimes these require additional further training. And then finally, you've got transferable skills. So these are careers that are not necessarily related to sport and exercise science, but because of the skills that we give our students, these prepare you for work in many different industries, and these might include emergency services, the military, recruitment, or any of the things that we've listed here. Entry requirements for sport and exercise science here at Lancaster. So our standard offer of A-levels is 2 A's and a B with at least one science-based subject, and the full list of sciences that we accept is on our website. For GCSEs, you must have a Maths grade 5 or English language grade C or a 4. We also have other qualifications listed here, but just to focus on the BTEC, typically would make an offer for distinction in sport or sport and exercise science. Just to caveat the BTEC sport, we always look at the BTEC sport to ensure there's sufficient science content in there, because we need to make sure that you're going to thrive within the first year of our degree program. We're very excited that at Lancaster we're also able to offer some scholarships. So we're able to offer £3,000 a year, a total of £9,000 across the entire degree program. These are going to be finalised later in the year, but there is an application process for these. But what's important is these are a thing that's unique to sports science. The criteria is a firm offer acceptance, and there is an application required. And we typically give out more details of these scholarships at our applicant visit days that I would encourage you to engage with. If you'd like any further information, I'm aware this is a very short presentation, please drop us an email to the admissions team or to the Lancaster Medical School admissions team. You can get in contact with us over the phone, or alternatively I would encourage you to engage with our social media channels where we present the latest research and some of the stuff that our students get up to. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take those. Please just get in contact with us. Thank you very much.